Telling me, Daryl. How are you, Mr. Carson? Appreciate that.
The call is yours.
Thank you very much. And thanks for all the warm introductions. Thanks for making sure we had some music going and that everybody felt welcome as they came on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to be with you. I am excited for the information today. If you've been with us over the more recent weeks, you've heard as we've talked about the 4 categories of disease. And you've heard as we've talked about what we can do to help ourselves, our family, our friends, the people we care about to improve their health. Well, today we're going to go a little bit deeper into that. We're going to talk a little bit more about what's happening and why people are struggling with their health and what we can do about it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. Mr. Carson, can you confirm that the slides are visible?
Yes, sir, they are.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, as we've told you, here at Top Shelf Nutra, we do things a little different, very unique. And we're going to talk a little bit about that uniqueness today and what it is about us that's unique. But to start out, we've got to recognize that we've got a problem. Okay, we've got an alarming increase in the occurrence of disease over the last 30 to 40 years. And you say, well, really, what kinds of diseases? What are the statistics behind this? And you can see just in a few magazines that this is a big deal, right? We've got all sorts of health issues that have become big news over the years. A 41% increase in deaths from heart disease, 45% increase in asthma, 50% increase in digestive disorders, 50% increase in food allergies, 250% increase in epilepsy. We have 3 times as many diabetics, 3 times as many people needing fertility treatments, 783% increase in deaths from Alzheimer's disease, a disease that didn't even exist 60 years ago, and a 4,000+% increase in autism. So that's what we're going to talk about over the next few minutes is, wow, what has caused these things? Why in the world is this happening? Why is it happening here in America more than anywhere else? And is there a solution? So this is just a fun little graph to show healthcare costs in America compared to other countries. And even though we have the highest percentage of skilled trained health practitioners, we've got, we spend more in healthcare than any other nation. The disease rates are increasing at a faster rate in America than anywhere else on the globe. So what's the cause? Is it our diet? Is it the junk food? Is it our sedentary life, lack of exercise? Is it pollution? Is it prescription drugs? Is it the immunizations? How about the chemicals we're using? How about the herbicides and pesticides that we're using on our crops? Is it the GMOs, the genetically modified organisms that are now in our food? I think you could answer yes and no to almost each one of these, because I would think that as I've observed this, a good percentage of the population are fighting against this. So maybe we're not actually consuming as much junk food as we used to. Maybe we actually are getting out and getting a little more exercise than we used to. I know we've done a lot of work on trying to reduce pollution. People are wising up to the prescription drug situation and resisting taking too many medications. We had a great campaign fighting back against some of the chemicals that were found in some of the immunizations. And now there's big lawsuits fighting against some of the herbicides and pesticides, and organic markets have grown with avoiding of GMOs. So, I can't exactly tell you that any one of these or something else is causing it, but instead it's the combination, right? It's the combination of our lifestyle, our diet, combination of the fact that our food has changed, the food supply has changed, combination of the fact that we oftentimes turn to allopathic medicine instead of maybe holistic or other approaches to being sick. And so when we combine all that together, we find that our modern life is killing us. We're being exposed more and more to toxins chemicals and things than we ever have been. And so whether it's the cleaning supplies, whether it's what we use to clean our clothes, whether it's the toxins that we're putting on our farm soils, the bottom line is our bodies just have a lot more to deal with. And the result of this is chronic inflammation. It's called the silent killer by the medical community because we don't even really know it's happening until it's too late. But as we ingest, whether we're breathing it in, drinking it, or eating these chemicals, or whether they're being exposed to our skin, our body becomes inflamed. What does that mean? It means our body gets upset, right? It gets irritated. And it's saying, why do I have to fight off, neutralize, and get rid of all of these chemicals? And that's the pressure that we've added to our bodies in more recent times. Okay. And so this has turned into digestive issues with, all sorts of food sensitivities, people not being able to consume things that they normally have for generations, and leading to obesity and all sorts of things. And because we've modified our food, because we're farming out of the same soils over and over again, and we're only putting chemical fertilizers back in, which only have 3 minerals, we are winding up deficient in essential nutrients. So this combination of increasing the toxic load, causing chronic inflammation throughout the body, digestive problems, then reducing our ability to take in nutrition, and there being less nutrition in the food that we eat, all of this has turned into the fact that we are now suffering from massive chronic disease. What do I mean? Well, in 1990, less than 20% of adults suffered from chronic disease. Think about that. In 1990, less than 20%. Today, more than 60% suffer from chronic disease and are actually suffering from 3 or more. So we have tripled the number of people who are suffering from disease, and we've tripled the number of diseases that they are suffering from. You just think about that for a second. This is a massive increase of the occurrence of disease, and I believe it's directly tied to what we just talked about, the increased burden of toxins on the body, which leads to inflammation throughout the body, which leads to difficulty with digestion, and then on top of that, as we mentioned here, the lack of nutrition in the food that we're consuming. All right. So moving on then, 62% of the US diet now contains heavily processed food. We might not have even noticed it, but the percentage of processed versus natural food in our diet has greatly increased, not just at home, but at the school lunches for our kids. At the restaurants, they're using more and more pre-processed or prepared foods in the preparation of the food that we're eating in the restaurants. And this heavily processed food means increase of chemicals, increase of colorants, dyes, preservatives, all these things that, again, increase inflammation, irritation, difficulty within the body. So another way to look at inflammation is if you compare it to congestion on a road, right? We've all been caught in rush hour traffic. And what does it mean? It means that the people that need to get somewhere can't get in and can't get out, right? You can't get the good in, the bad out. You can't intro and exit and all those things. And so if you think about our body as a system where we've got to bring nutrition and nutrients in, and we've got to eliminate toxins and things that are causing problems, when it stagnates, what happens? Well, now you've got the toxins intermingling and mixing with the good. You've got the bad and the good all mixing together and staying there too long. And as a result, the tissues surrounding become irritated, just like what happens when you have congestion. All the arterial roads get congested, everything inflames, and it takes a long time to recover from it. That stagnation is very, very harmful for our body. If you think about the processes of our body, we are meant to bring things in, we're meant to get things out. It's supposed to be a constant flow. And when that doesn't happen, when the blood stagnates, when the digestive tract stagnates, all of these things, then we end up with disease. So just to look at our digestive system, inside of the digestive tract, we have thousands, millions of these little tiny hair-like follicles that are called villi. And those villi on the ends of them have hair-like follicles called microvilli. And it is through the ends of those little hair-like follicles and micro hair-like follicles that digested food or chyme is supposed to pass through and then pass all the way through and then get through the intestinal lining and into the bloodstream. These things are supposed to be broken down, digested, and only then do they make it into our body's systems. Well, when we are inflamed, it suffocates these villi. They swell up, they break off, circulation gets cut off, and we get openings. You can see that little diagram there of that little yellow module or molecule, undigested food, finding its way between the villi into and through the intestinal wall and into the bloodstream, and that creates inflammation in the cardiovascular system. And so now you've got undigested proteins and things that aren't supposed to, and toxins, et cetera, that aren't supposed to make it through to the blood. They're now in the bloodstream. So now the body's immune response has to kick in. We call that an autoimmune disorder, but this is an example of healthy villi above and broken, inflamed villi down below. And this is a result of the diet that is finding its way into so many of our lives. So because our foods are changing, it's changing our gut biome. And so we have this chronic problem of gaining weight, dealing with obesity. And, this study says it's harder today than it's ever been to maintain the same weight, simply because of the amount of inflammation that's now occurred in the digestive system. So research is showing that chronic inflammation may be the factor in many diseases. Now, why is that? How can one thing, inflammation, cause many diseases? Well, just the digestion part of it. If the digestive tract is inflamed, now the method for getting nutrition into the body is compromised. You're not able to get the good in, and you're getting bad in, and then you're not able to get the bad out. And so all of this is occurring, and it's then leading to ongoing chronic disease, because we know, as we're going to talk about here in a minute, that 80 to 85% of all chronic illness can be categorized in 4 categories. And if you find yourself suffering from an illness that's in more than one of these categories, chances are you also have inflammation in the digestive system, because digestion inflammation means deficiency, and deficiency means you're going to find yourself in more than one category of disease. Here's a study from Johns Hopkins that says chronic inflammation is linked to Alzheimer's, arthritis, lupus, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, depression, and more. Well, why is it and more? Because chronic inflammation, starting with the digestive system and then moving through the body, affects everything in the body. It is the chronic kernel that leads to all sorts of chronic illness. That's why they call it the secret killer. And look at that: inflammation, heart attacks, cancer, Alzheimer's. We're talking multiple categories of disease caused by one thing, and that thing is inflammation. And so again, these statistics, we already talked about them, but I just wanted to bring them up again. Why is this occurring? Why are we seeing such an increase in heart disease, asthma, digestive, allergies, epilepsy, diabetes, fertility? I mean, the Alzheimer's, autism. It's because of this correlation with inflammation, and then inflammation affecting digestion, and then that leading to deficiencies in all different categories. So what makes us different? Well, rather than just saying, well, here, we'll get you a medication, we'll write you a prescription, which will mask or hide the symptoms, and you'll feel better, but guess what? You're still sick. We want to take a more holistic approach, and we want to approach inflammation. See, we found that the longest living cultures around the world have access to natural anti-inflammatories, natural antioxidants, natural phenolics, detoxifying nutrients, and a source of essential nutrients like minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids. And this is part of their regular diet on a daily basis. And so their bodies have what they need to fight off inflammation and toxins, and therefore they have the essential nutrients, their digestion is fine, and they're able to support all these areas that the body needs to repair, rebuild, and maintain itself. So what do we do here at Top Shelf Nutri is we access some of these powerful nutrients that have been legendary for thousands of years, and we access them from a very unique source, so they're very potent and very pure. From an organic island in Fiji comes our amazing ginger and turmeric. We also include a product called muscadine grape. And we're going to teach you a lot about muscadine grape at a different presentation. But today, just understand that this is the highest antioxidant, the highest phenolic count nutrient in substance we know of on the planet. And so this is part of the program as well. And so we take this ginger, this turmeric, this muscadine, and fulvic plant minerals, plant-derived trace minerals, and we combine those together in our product called GTM. And this product is changing lives. If you do nothing more but just add this to your life, you're going to reduce inflammation, you're going to boost digestion, you're going to increase your ability to fight off disease and immunity. This is a powerful, powerful product, and we love the results that we're getting from it. And to that, more recently, we've added our full spectrum ultimate hydration product called Sport and Go. This is again loaded with a lot of these essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals, but also added to it a number of very powerful adaptogenic herbs and things that are going to help support the body in its efforts to fight off what's happened in our society today. And it tastes wonderful. I love this. I have 3 or 4 of them a day. So this combination of GTM and Sport and Go is what we at Top Shelf Nutri call our core. That is at the core of what we do every day. And then we have other products that I've divided here by colors so that you can see that they support these 4 categories, right? The red is supporting blood sugar. The blue is supporting hard tissues. The green is supporting detoxification, digestion, and immunity. And the yellow is supporting soft tissue. Now, we're not going to go into all the details. We have a recording of that on our YouTube channel that you can go watch, but I'm going to go quickly through what these are. See, blood sugar as category 1 shows itself in a lot of different ways. I'll give you just a second to look on the screen there at those diseases that are often related to blood sugar imbalances. And I'm sure some of them you're going to say, yep, diabetes. I know that one's a blood sugar disorder. But did you know that adrenal failure and bedwetting and dizziness and excessive thirst and sweating and urination, these are all signs of blood sugar disorders. And so these are just some examples. The list actually goes on, but they kind of relate in other categories as well. So we've kind of kept it to this. But the idea is that the body needs hundreds of chemicals in order to balance blood sugar. And so one of the things that we have in our core are these nutrients. But if you need extra for them, we have, as I showed on that flower, certain products that help to support healthy, balanced blood sugar levels. Everything from our Vital Shake, the Boost Coffee, to the ATP Balance, the muscadine seed oil, and our wonderful Sport and Go product. Okay. Category number 2 is we are talking about hard tissues. And you can look at this list here, and again, you're going to say, I had no idea that insomnia was a hard tissue disorder, or kidney stones, or tinnitus, or tetany, or PMS. But the truth of the matter is that hard tissue disorders all relate to each other because of the tissue that they're a part of, but also because of the group of nutrients that they need to support and rebuild themselves. So everything from calcium, magnesium, boron, strontium, trace minerals, these are all vitamin D, these are all this group of nutrients that support hard tissues. And when I say hard tissues, we're talking skeletal system, we're talking the muscular system, we're talking the biggest muscle in the body, which is the heart, right? These things are all dependent upon this group of nutrients. Just as an example of one of those, a bone requires over 60 different nutrients just to maintain and rebuild itself. So you're not just made up of calcium, you're made up of a whole group, a soup of nutrients. And we have to get those on a daily basis to repair, rebuild, and maintain. We're using these tissues every day. We wear them down, they inflame, then they wear down faster. So we have to bring the inflammation down and support the rebuilding. Our number 1 product in this category, in addition to the core, is the bone and joint, added turmeric, and another product coming soon called Relax. Okay, let's go on to category number 3, which is digestive disorders and immunity. Okay, these are related because They call your digestive system your second brain, right? Well, why is that? Because it is what is going to identify and trigger the immune response. So your body senses what you've eaten, what you've had to drink, what you have consumed, what you've breathed in, even through the pulmonary system. The body senses things when they come into the body, and it triggers an immune response. We all know this, right? During allergy season, you breathe in a bunch of pollen, what happens? The immune system responds, okay? That's an immune response. Well, the same thing happens when you eat food, when you drink, have something to drink, when you breathe in, the body is sensing what's coming in and it reacts to it. And so all of these things you're seeing on here, the likelihood of getting sick, fungus, yeast, bacterias, viral infections, acid reflux, allergies, athlete's foot, belching, bloating, bowel gas, these are all part of this category of digestive disorders. And if we can support the body in having a healthy digestive system, bringing down the inflammation, giving the body the tools it needs to do this properly, well, guess what? The immune overreaction goes down. Yeah, I mean, when COVID was a scare, it wasn't because people were dying from COVID. They were dying from the immune response to the COVID, to that. And so what we are doing is we are supporting the body's digestive system so we can get nutrients in, but we're also at the same time supporting the immune system so that it can be more intelligent. It can react effectively and properly to what goes into our body. Okay, so you are what you absorb, not necessarily what you eat. And we've already talked about some of this, but we've got to strengthen our stomach acid. We've got to build up the good flora and bacteria in our stomach and our intestines and our colon. We've got to make sure that our body is calmed down and not hypersensitive so we don't overact immune-wise. And what do we have for that? We've got the detox tea, we've got the lax, we've got the ginger. Tea tree is amazing, muscadine, and we can tell you more about these products, but we got to move along. Our last category is the soft tissue. Soft tissue includes your skin, includes your eyes, it includes your mouth, it includes your nervous system. All around the nerves is this myelin sheath. In your brain is an intense amount of soft tissue. These things are all needing a certain amount of cholesterol and essential fats. That's what EFA, essential fatty acids. Our bodies have to consume them. We can't produce them. And so if we are on a low fat, low cholesterol diet, guess what? We're going to wind up with these disorders because the body can't make enough. The body can't produce enough to sustain us, and so we have to consume them. Cholesterol actually should be an essential nutrient. And the medical community has made it out to be a boogeyman, but it's actually an essential nutrient your body needs. All hormones are 80% by weight, fat, and cholesterol. Your brain is 70% cholesterol and fat. Our nervous system, all the insulation on all the nerves throughout your entire body is myelin made up of cholesterol and fat. So we have to change our diet. We have to turn that food pyramid on its head. The largest consumption should be fat for our protein and fat sources. We need to be consuming healthy fats. We need to reduce the consumption of carbohydrates, the grains and things. That needs to be smaller because they're so inflammatory and because that's one area where we have lots of genetic modification. And so diseases like Alzheimer's, asthma, cardiovascular disease, dermatitis, eczema, gallstones, these are all in this category. And so one of the easiest things you can do is just start eating more eggs. Don't cook the egg yolk hard. Eat it while it's still liquid and soft, and that way you can get that healthy cholesterol. You need the selenium, you need the antioxidants to detoxify the oxidation that happens throughout the body. We'll talk more about oxidation another time. But every cell in your body has an outer membrane made up of healthy fats. So what do you think happens when you don't consume enough healthy fats? Yeah, those membranes can't maintain themselves. They break down. Now you've got unhealthy organisms getting into the cells of your body. Well, that's called infection, okay? And so this is a natural part of supporting immunity as well, is giving the body the healthy fats. We have our EFA red, we have the muscadine seed oil, we have our D-Lo cream. Again, these are all divided up into these 4 categories. If we make sure that we are getting our GTM and our Sport and Go on a daily basis at the core, then we can look and say, okay, where is my body struggling? What category and what other products can I add to that to support and promote my body? Eventually, the idea is to clean up your diet, reduce the inflammation, get yourself to a place where you don't need maybe those petals of the flower anymore, and you can get by perfectly with just the core of the GTM and the Sport and Go. But as life goes on, we'll start to notice, some warning signs of maybe my soft tissue is struggling, maybe my digestive is struggling, and you know exactly what to do. Go make up some detox tea, get yourself some muscadine seed oil. You see what I'm saying? These are the processes. So here's some simple do's and don'ts. Consume as much natural whole foods as you can. Green leafy vegetables, high antioxidant auric foods, high protein meals and snacks, and healthy fats. Drink plenty of water. Avoid margarine. These are fake fats. Use butter instead. Avoid carbonated drinks at mealtimes. They neutralize your stomach acid, reduce your consumption of nutrients and absorption of nutrients. Avoid the fried foods, processed meats that have nitrites and nitrates, preservatives in them. They're very inflammatory to the body. Avoid sugars. They're also probably the most inflammatory thing we can consume. And then as organic as you can eat, right? Avoid the pesticides, the pollution, things like that as best you can. But we're not going to be able to be perfect. So what do? We supplement. Okay. And we make sure that we are taking our supplements daily. You want some tips on that? Well, if you'll take your supplements with your food, your body won't know it's a supplement. It'll think it's part of the food. And that's when you have the highest enzyme production, saliva production, the ability to digest and absorb more easily. So, take your supplements with your food. Make sure you're taking enough. Supplements should be dosed based on body weight, not on age. As the animal is larger in the veterinary industry, what do? They increase the dosage. We all know that. We got large breed dog foods, small breed dog foods, and so forth. Well, we're no different. As you are a larger human being, you need more nutrients. As you're smaller, you need less. So dose your products according to your body weight. Make sure you're absorbing. If you're following the recommendations we have here and you're not noticing results, folks, you just need to follow this. You either need to take it with food, you can take more, you need to talk to one of us. We can get you some advice on what you can do more. So how do you join the Top Shelf family to get the amazing prices that are never been available before? Well, you become a member, either a monthly membership or an annual membership. You'll never pay shipping. You'll always have the wholesale pricing. You'll always earn product discount credits from referrals. There's no requirements, quotas, minimums, nothing like that. And for this month, we have a special where we are actually giving you product credits for referrals. So you introduce somebody and they join, you're going to get 25 product credits for anyone that joins as a monthly membership. You're also going to get an extra 25 for anyone who joins as an annual membership. Now, just to explain that, you refer a friend out of love and concern for their health, and they join and they get an annual membership, you're going to get 50 product credits. They're going to get 30 as well, but you're going to get $50 to go towards your next order. This is an exciting thing. We've never done this before, and it is a great opportunity for you to be able to share this amazing program that is blessing so many. Again, free shipping, the cheapest, lowest prices, the highest quality ingredients, and the opportunity to share it with others with no minimums or quotas. We love what's been happening at Top Shelf Nutra. We love the results people are having. We love the testimonials we're hearing, and it's just really, really fun to be here. Well, I want to leave a couple of minutes here to my good friend and mentor, Mr. Andre Vaughn, who's going to close us out. Andre, are you out there?
I'm here. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, and I can see you and hear you, and I appreciate you being here. Could you share with our friends a little bit about why Top Shelf Nutra is necessary?
One of the things that we struggle with on a daily basis is the whole weight thing, right? And what Top Shelf does for me is when I make bad choices, because we're all going to make some bad choices, I know exactly what to do with the products. And that's where the opportunity is. There's folks that are getting surgeries at an all-time level. And I've seen many people get surgeries and they come back for the thing that they got and paid thousands of dollars for. And now they're back because it wasn't the whole makeup of it. It was what you did to get to that point. The whole thing with the cholesterol, people are not going to tell you that. When people say, oh God, my cholesterol is high. And I remember back in the day, over a decade ago, the information we had, it was like, hold on, wait a minute. cholesterol is always not a bad thing. And the myelin in the brain and the certain foods that they taught us and trained us not to eat. And now the health is going down the toilet and everybody is almost, and it's sad that it's doctor, 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 doctor. And I get it. If I'm breaking my arm, I'm going right to the doctor. But when it comes to nutrition, I feel great with Top Shelf. And I'm telling you, it's like when I get on these Zooms, it's amazing because when we get on these Zooms, it's like I'm fired up because I'm making this a part of my lifestyle. You know, just like folks have book clubs, they go to Bible. This is just because if my health is not good, then what good is a book club? What good is Bible study or anything else? Because I'm not going to be here. And so I think that we need to really think about, and a lot of times because we're accustomed to the products, we're selfish with the products, we really need to get this message out. People are struggling on a daily basis. It's not just giving them information, it's giving them something that they can apply, application. And so that's why I get fired up about, Top Shelf and the products. And, everything's my go. They on my bedside, turmeric, the ATB Bounds, the EFA Red, the ginger turmeric. Sometimes I know that the GTM's I need GTM plus a little extra hit of ginger alone. I need an extra hit. If I want to deal with some inflammation, I need the GTM, but an extra hit of turmeric, so sometimes I need the standalone product in addition. The other night, man, I was like, oh God. I had to go and get the culinary ginger and just to put it on my tongue because I needed a quick absorption. I didn't need the capsules to get in the way of anything. I just needed to put it right under my tongue and absorb it and drink it with water. So it's different things when it comes to our health that we have all the tools. And that's why I feel great about what we have and how many people we can help. And so when you have family members, when you see folks, and for our guests, like we have stuff and have these calls are very important to me because I realized in my past, and I'll close with this, like a lot of times we're out and making a living, we're getting stuck with family and life. And sometimes we put ourselves last. And the first thing that we put last is our health. And the way people have trained us is that, okay, when I want to get back in shape, what do? I go to the gym. But think about it. What good is the gym if you're sweating all out your minerals and you're not replenishing your minerals? And so you've never seen athletes, only been 3 athletes that live past 100. So the information is out there. So all you workout fiends, I get it, but you better be supplementing like crazy. And so I rather just do movement. I rather people just walk and stay active instead of doing a whole heavy workout and taking all the minerals out your body. And then Houston, you have a problem because the gluten intolerant, you're not absorbing like you think at the rate you are, and then you don't know what's in the soils. And so when you think you're eating a perfect nutritional plate, or when you are taking the supplements because you have a digestive issue or you're gluten intolerant, you're not absorbing the thing. So it's almost like I'm taking all the oil out your car, putting water, but still having an oil leak. So your engine's going to shut down. And a lot of people are shutting down their engine. And that's why, I'm excited about what we have here. And I commend all of our folks that get on every Saturday and Tuesday because this is really paying our life bill and not our light bill first. So that's it. And that's all, man. If somebody invited you, make sure you get with that person. Mr. Smith, you outdid yourself. Mr. Carson, thank you for getting us started. And I want to be the first to welcome you to the Top Shelf Nutri family. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.